Nestled in the Kathmandu Valley, south of the famous Himalaya mountain range, Khanalthok is a village of about 80 families, the majority of which are sustained by farming. Many people think of snow-covered mountains, adventuresome trekkers, and brave Sherpa when they think of Nepal. However, Khanalthok and many other areas of the country have a rather mild climate that is well suited for farming. The two main crops produced in the Khanalthok community are corn and wheat. Despite the centuries-old methods of production, the government supplies the farmers with genetically modified seed and harsh fertilizers at a heavily subsidized price. The farmers are convinced that the fertilizers don't work anymore, but in reality, their soil is severely depleted of nutrients from growing the same crops every season for so many years. Nepal does have a rather well-developed extension program that provides many communities with vital education about their farming practices. Unfortunately, some communities are considered too isolated or too unproductive, so they don't receive the same benefits as conveniently located and more productive areas. Khanalthok is one of the remote and underproducing areas that does not reap the benefits of the extension program. If the farmers of the region were properly educated, they would be able to learn about how corn depletes the soil of nitrogen, and that legumes put nitrogen back in the soil. They could learn about more efficient methods of planting and harvesting. An extension program might introduce a new crop option for the farmers to try. Diversification of crops in the community would also lead them toward the building of an economy. Since everyone grows the same thing, they can't sell crops to each other. I'll trade you 2 bushels of wheat for 2 bushels of wheat. That doesn't seem like a good deal to me. This lack of an economy has led to a startling shift in demographics in the village. There are lots of little children and lots of elderly adults. There are some young and middle-aged women, but there are almost no men between the ages of 18 and 45. They have all left to take jobs in the cities, like Kathmandu, or even farther away in the Gulf states. This is necessary because Khanalthok doesn't have an economy. Crop diversification would solve one end of the lack of trade. But transportation of goods is another important part of increasing trade and making money. In order to trade crops, you need more than just a mode of transportation. You need a path to get them to a place of trade. Normally, that path is a road. And their roads are, well, they're more like scary amusement park rides than roads. So trade with other communities is nearly impossible. What little trade they do conduct is through a middleman who takes most of the profit. All of this means that all of the money coming into the village comes from outside sources. In my mind, education and trade go hand in hand. It's kind of like a snowball effect. If the extension were to reach all the way to Khanalthok, farmers would have better education about farming. With a better knowledge of farming, they would be able to grow a more diverse set of crops with larger yields. Having more diversity in their crops would grow an economy within the village, and having more crops to trade would increase the possibility of trading outside the village as well. Having more money in the village would give the community the ability to pay for a road that would be built to help increase their trade and boost their economy even more. For a community like Khanalthok, agriculture is a part of their culture that isn't going anywhere. Through agricultural education and increased trade, Khanalthok will reach new levels of progress and prosperity that will also reach into other aspects of their daily life.